How can astrology predict your relationship's future, guys? When you are getting into love or when you are getting into the commitment of marriage, it becomes very important to know what sort of a love life or married life experience you are getting into, all right, and what kind of mindset you have, what kind of mindset your life partner, your loved one will be having. Now, when I am saying loved one and when I am saying life partner, these are two different things, right? Because your love life is controlled by the 5th house of your horoscope and your married life is controlled by the 7th house of your horoscope, all right. And then your bed comforts, that is after marriage, the bed comforts, the happy union life, that is controlled by the 12th house of your horoscope, all right. So, in today's day and age, a lot of people who are born in the 90's and the 2000's, all right, they are getting into a lot of relationship crash because they are considering a person to be like a reflection of their parents. A girl can think that, okay, this guy has the qualities of my father, so I can rely on him, and a guy can think that this girl can have the qualities of my mother and I can rely and get married to her, all right. So, initially they are trying to visualize some good protective person in the loved one, and after getting to the marriage it is turning into a disaster or an accident, all right, and then people are getting into divorce, all right. So, the entire generation is going haywire because they don't know how to properly make the right decision for their love life and their marriage, all right. So, in this video I am going to give something like 8 key points which if you identify and if you understand, you will be able to overcome your relationships issue, all right. So, how astrology can predict your relationships future? By taking conscious and right choices and steps in the present, all right, because the present becomes the future's reflection, all right. If you are making or if you are messing up your present, if you are taking a wrong decision in your love life and your married life, then that's it, guys. It's going to be very heavy karmically, all right. So, I am here like a Jupiter in your life and I am going to educate you, all right. So, the 8 key points that I am going to share is that, but before getting into these 8 key points, if you have liked this video, please hit the like button after watching it in its entirety. If you have disliked this video, please hit the dislike button and show me your genuine reaction. If you feel I am going wrong somewhere, please comment such that I can correct myself, all right. And subscribe to Purabs Universe, because only if you subscribe to Purabs Universe you will get access to such different content, all right. So, let's get into this topic now. The first point is identify which lagna you are born and which sign is falling in your 5th house and 7th house, all right. First of all, you need to understand your personality traits properly, all right. The first house of your lagna, whichever Rashi is falling there, you will have the characteristics and nature of that particular planet in you, all right. So, if you are born in Aries, you will be short tempered, you will be a little bit high energy, ambitious, angry, childlike anger, something like a man baby or a man woman baby, that you will be grown up but you will have a short temper, and then when you will vent out you will again become calm, all right. So, you can have a little bit of a erratic kind of a nature and you would want to break through everything and go forward, all right, even if it is emotions in relationships. So, you are very Martian in nature, all right. Now, imagine being Aries, you are getting into a relationship with somebody who is like a Cancer ascendant, who is sensitive, who is emotional, who is respectful, who is a little bit emotionally romantic, all right, not very action oriented, all right, then somewhere there is a compatibility issue, all right. Even though you will say that Mars and Moon are friends, but Mars gets debilitated in Cancer, guys, all right. So, first you identify your lagna, and then you identify which sign is falling in your 5th house and 7th house. Alright. Now, whichever ascendant you might be, but consider this like a blank chart prediction. If you have the signs Virgo, Scorpio, Aquarius and Pisces, alright, Virgo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Pisces. If these 4 signs, any one of it is falling in your 5th house or 7th house, that means you will have some distortion and some problems in your married life, alright, because Virgo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Pisces, these are heavy karma rashis, alright, and when this particular zodiac sign is coming in your 5th house of love or 7th house of marriage, that means you have done some karmically difficult things because of which your life partner is going to be complicated. The personality and the character is going to be complicated. For example, let's say you're a Taurus ascendant. Now your 7th house is getting Scorpio, very intense, passive aggressive, right, secretive in nature and vengeance oriented. A Scorpio person will never forgive you if you're doing mistakes, and Taurus is the opposite because moon gets exalted in Taurus, alright. So there becomes compatibility issues. So let's say you're an Aries ascendant. For you, your 5th house is Leo and your 7th house is Libra. So that's not very problematic, alright. Now let's say that you're a Taurus ascendant, your house becomes Scorpio. That's problem. Let's say you are a Leo ascendant, your house has the sign Aquarius. Aquarius are very self-centered, very intelligent, alright, and Aquarians like to enslave people, alright. They have this characteristic trait that they will be first very friendly and very adjusting, but slowly they'll try to exercise their dominance and they'll try to control you, alright, which is like a opposite character of Leo. Leo is like straightforward dominance, right? So if Aquarius sign is falling, or let's say Virgo is falling, you're a Pisces ascendant and Virgo is falling in your 5th house or 7th house, then you have some karmically heavy things going on for you in your marriage and relationship. So first checkpoint, you have to be alert, alright. The second thing is identify which Rashi you are born and which Rashi are compatible, alright. Rashi means in whichever sign your moon is placed in your horoscope, alright. So first you have to understand mentally, emotionally, what kind of a person are you, alright. If you are an Aries, you are straightforward and energetic. If you are a Leo, you are egoistic, you have pride, you have romance, alright. If you are Aquarius, you are scientific, intellectual, alright. And if you are Virgo, you are very critical, you are very detail oriented. You want to break down things into nitty-gritties and do SWOT analysis for everything, alright. Let's say you are Sagittarius, then you are very high energy, a little bit religious and spiritual, alright, and you always want to motivate people, you always want to cheer people, alright, something like a motivational speaker. That is Saggy energy, like a preacher, alright. Let's say you are Cancer, you are emotional, you are sensitive and you are well mannered, you are soft spoken, you are not very harsh mentally, emotionally, alright. Now there are different Nakshatra padas. A person who is born in Cancer Punarvasu and Cancer Pushya and Cancer Ashlesha will have slightly different characteristics, but these are generical things, alright, which I am trying to say. So let's say you are born in Aries, you have to find compatible Rashis for you, okay. So you can go for a Leo, you can go for a Saggy, alright. Libra is also okay, it will try to balance you, alright. But you should not go for a Virgo, you should not go for a Scorpio moon sign, you should not go for a Pisces moon sign, because these people will drain your energy, alright, because of incompatibility. Similarly, let's say you are a Leo, you can go for an Aries moon sign, you can go for a Gemini moon sign, you can go for a Saggy moon sign, alright. You avoid Aquarius, Capricorn, Virgo, alright, and Cancer also to some extent, alright. So in this way, for each Rashi, there will be incompatible Rashis, alright. I cannot go much into detail for all the 12 Rashis. Maybe I'll write it down in comments, compatible and non-compatible Rashis, so that you can identify your Rashi and you can see if you share a mutual mental compatibility with the person whom you are entering into a love or relationship, alright. The third point is identify where your 5th lord and 7th lord and 12th lord are placed in your chart, okay. Your 5th house is very important when it comes to your love life and your childbirth. Alright. If there are afflictions in your 5th house, if your 5th house lord is placed in the 6th house or the 8th house or the 12th house, conjunct with malefics like Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Mars or Sun, there will be issues in your love life. Alright. Similarly, let's say your 7th lord, it is directly your marriage and your spouse. What kind of a spouse or what kind of a married life you are going to have. Alright. If your 7th lord has gone into the 6th house or the 8th house or the 12th house, alright, or let's say it has gone to the 3rd house also, and it is conjunct with malefics like Rahu, Saturn, Ketu, Mars, Sun, then you will definitely have problems in your married life. Alright. The 12th house is the house of your bed comforts, something like your secret life, your sexual life, alright, to be precise, along with the 7th house. So, if there are afflictions in your 12th house, 12th lord debilitated, 12th lord aspected by Saturn or Rahu or Ketu or Mars, 12th lord in 6th house, 8th house, conjunct with malefics like Rahu, Saturn, Ketu and Mars. Alright. These are combinations which indicate that your bed comforts are getting problematic. Alright. If your 5th house is going into, if your 5th house lord is going into Dusthana, avoid love marriage, go for arranged marriage. If your 7th house lord is going into a negative aspect, try to do a live together or go into a marriage, but don't sign it in a document or paper. Let it be a social marriage. Once you sign and commit something, then you enter into the energy of the 7th house, then it becomes problematic. Alright. Similarly, let's say your 5th house, 7th house both are afflicted, then your quota of love and marriage, happiness from marriage is a little bit less. Okay. Now 5th house, 7th house is okay, but your 12th house is compromised. So even though there will be love between you and your loved one, even though you guys can get married, but the union life or the conjugal life is going to be problematic because the 12th lord has become compromised. So you can see it from your own chart. Alright. Identify what kind of planet is placed in your 5th house and 7th house and 12th house. Alright. Now there are natural malefics and natural benefics. Okay. Malefics are what? Rahu, Saturn, Mars, Sun, Ketu. Benefics are Moon, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. Alright. Let's say you have malefics in your 5th house. Alright. Even if it is an own sign, even if it is exalted, even if it is in Mool Trikon Rashi, but still if you have malefics in your 5th house, your love life is going to be harsh, heavy, problematic. If you have benefics in your 5th house, like Mercury is in the 5th house, well placed, or Jupiter is in the 5th house, or Venus is in the 5th house, or Moon is in the 5th house, then it is showing that there is a soft energy in your 5th house. So your love life is going to be soft. Alright. Now just because your love life is soft doesn't mean that your married life is going to be good. Alright. You have a very good 5th house, you have good planets placed in your 5th house, but your 7th house is having malefics, or 7th lord is conjunct with malefics. Alright. Then you realize that I was very good when I was in love with a person, but the moment I got married to this person, suddenly what happened? Things are going haywire, there is no compatibility and things like that. Similarly, if there are malefics in your 12th house, then your conjugal life is going to take a toll, except let's say Rahu and Mars is still okay, but Saturn, Rahu, Sun a little bit problematic. Alright. The next point is that identify through transit which planets are transiting through your 5th house and 7th house. Alright. So transits have a lot of impact on our lives. Alright. So what we need to see is that at the time of getting into a love equation or at the time of getting married, if there is a transit, if there is a malefic planet transiting through your 5th house or 7th house, alright. Now it can be a functional malefic or it can be a fundamentally malefic planet. Alright. Certain planets are functional malefics. Alright. Jupiter is a natural benefic, but for let's say Gemini ascendant 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But for Cancer ascendant 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Jupiter becomes a functional malefic, even though it is a benefic planet, because it is now controlling your 6th house. So if Jupiter is transiting through your 5th house or your 7th house at the time of your marriage, then there will be significant problems in your love life or married life. Alright. Similarly, if Saturn was transiting through your 5th house or 7th house, or Rahu, Ketu were transiting through your 5th house or 7th house at the time of your marriage from the Lagna or the Rashi, that impact will be carried forward to your married life. Alright. So make sure that at the time of committing your love, that is saying I love you, or getting married, make sure there is no malefic in your 5th house and 7th house transiting. Okay. Then look into your Navamsa chart, alright, and see how the 5th house lord and the 7th house lord are placed in the Navamsa. So you are a Leo ascendant, alright. So the 5th house is ruled by Jupiter and the 7th house is ruled by Saturn. If Jupiter and Saturn are debilitated in your Navamsa chart, that is, the ruler of the 5th house and the 7th house of your Lagna chart becomes debilitated in your Navamsa chart, or is placed in the 6th house or 8th house or 12th house in the Navamsa chart, or if it is conjunct with Rahu, Saturn and Ketu, or Mars or Sun in the 6th, 8th, 12th or 3rd house of the Navamsa chart, this indicates problem. Alright. So if there are such combinations in your Navamsa Kundli, then think thoroughly, think deeply, and then decide if you want to get into marriage or love or something like that. One cannot exist without loving, but let's say 5th house is a little bit better, 7th house is bad, love this person, don't get married to it, live together. If 7th house is bad and 5th house is good, then live together, don't get married. Alright. So what I am trying to say is, if your 5th house is good and your 7th house is bad, then remain in a live-in or a love relationship, alright, and try to avoid marriage. This can be very strange to say, but that's the energy of the horoscope. Let's say your 5th house is bad and 7th house is good, alright, then go for an arranged marriage. That is better. Okay. The next point is, identify what kind of planets are placed in the 1st house, 5th house and 9th house of Navamsa. The 1st house of the Navamsa is you and your nature towards the marriage. The 7th house of the Navamsa is your life partner and your spouse's nature or energy towards the married life, alright. And the 9th house of the Navamsa is the Bhagya or the fortune of the marriage, alright. Now if there are afflictions, Rahu Ketu in the 1 and 7 axis of the Navamsa chart, Saturn in the 1 and 7 axis, Mars in bad placement in the 1 and 7 axis, or let's say this Rahu, Ketu, Saturn, Mars, Sun, they are placed in bad dignity in the 9th house, then there will be problems in your married life, alright. You have to do remedies for these planets. I have made a video, 27 nakshatras, 9 planets and remedies. Watch that video and try to do the remedies for it, for those planets, alright. Now the last point is, this is very hi-fi concept, alright. Look at the nakshatra, okay. There are 27 nakshatras. Now let's say your moon is placed in a certain nakshatra, that is your Janma nakshatra, okay. Now there is this list, okay, for which nakshatra, which particular planet is carrying a curse, right. So if you are born in Ashwini nakshatra, you are carrying the curse of Sun, alright. So first see if Sun is well placed in your horoscope, alright, and it has been giving you good results in your Dasha Antar Dasha, and then marry someone who is like a Leo moon sign or a Leo Lagna or a Sun dominated person, alright. This is very specific. So Bharani nakshatra people carry the curse of moon, alright. So look at your horoscope, look at the placement of moon and see if it is well placed and moon has been giving you good results. Otherwise, don't marry someone who can be a Cancer ascendant, alright, or who can be somebody like a moon in 1st house person. That is a problem, alright. So similarly for Kritika nakshatra, Mars, check the nature of Mars in your horoscope. if it is doing good in previous dasha, antar dasha, and whatever significations Mars rules, whether you are able to enjoy it, like brothers, like physical strength, like property, like vehicles, real estate, land, buildings. If you are getting a good experience, then you can go for marrying somebody who is a Aries or a Scorpio, Lagna or Rashi. Alright. So similarly for Rohini, Mercury, for Mrigashira, Jupiter, for Adra, Venus, for Punarvasu, Saturn, for Pushya, Rahu, for Ashlesha, Sun, for Magha, Moon, for Purva Falguni, Mars, for Uttar Falguni, Mercury, for Hasta, Jupiter, for Chitra, Venus, for Swati, Saturn, for Vishaka, Rahu, for Anuradha, Sun, for Jeshta, Moon, for Mula, Mars, for Purvashada, Mercury, for Uttarashada, Jupiter, for Shravana, Venus, for Dhanishta, Saturn, for Satabhisha, Rahu, for Purva Bhadrapad, Sun, for Uttar Bhadrapad, Moon, and for Revati, Mars. So these 27 nakshatras, whichever planet I have read out, this planet is the primary curse giver in your horoscope at the nakshatra level. Alright. If you see all compatibilities, the lagna in which you are born, which sign is falling in your 7th house, whether your Rashi is compatible or not, if your 5th house, 7th house, 12th lord, it is well placed, etc. Whatever points I have said. After that, this is like the final. This is very important. Alright. If you are born in this nakshatra, that is, you have moon in this nakshatra, then first you have to check the planet that is corresponding written against Mula, let's say it's Mars, against Magha, let's say it's Moon, against Ashwini, let's say it's Sun. So you have to first identify if your Sun or your Moon or your Mars is well placed in your horoscope and it is giving you good results. Right? If they are not giving you good results, even though you are Aquarius ascendant and Sun rules your 7th house, or even though let's say that you are a Capricorn ascendant and Moon rules your 7th house, even though you are a Libra ascendant, Mars rules your 7th house, but if the energy, the experience, the signification of that particular planet which is carrying the curse of that nakshatra is bad, avoid that person. So avoid people born in, for example, I will explain. Let's say Mula nakshatra is the birth nakshatra of yours. Alright. First you have to see how Mars is placed in your horoscope. Okay. Whether it is well placed or not well placed. Then go and see in the previous dasha, antar dasha, if Mars has been giving you good results. Alright. After verifying it, then only you can marry somebody who is either a Scorpio Rashi or a Mesh Rashi, or who is born in Mrigashira Nakshatra, or let's say Chitra Nakshatra or Dhanishta Nakshatra, because these three are Mars ruled nakshatras. Alright. For similarly, use this principle for Ashwini. Look at Sun. If Sun is fine, then look at the dasha, antar dasha of Sun. Sun has been giving you good results. Then you can marry somebody who is Leo, alright, or who is born in Kritika Nakshatra or Anuradha Nakshatra. Then you can marry someone who is born in Sun ruled nakshatras, Kritika, Uttar Falguni, Uttarashada. Alright. So this is what I have to say. For Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Saggy, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, I will give the list in the comment which Rashi is compatible and which Rashi is not compatible. You can use that list to find out the mental compatibility, because this is very fundamental of astro and I cannot spend that much amount of time in explaining this aspect. Okay. Please make sure this nakshatra level is understood, and please make sure that these 8 key points which I have mentioned you have understood. Then you can predict your future relationships, whether it is going to be good, whether it's going to be bad. Alright. Now what about remedies? Alright, because at the end of the day you are going to tell me, okay, Purab explained everything, but he didn't give remedy. Alright. Let's say you are already married, you are already suffering. Find out who is your 5th lord. Find out which planet is ruling your 7th house. Find out in which particular nakshatra your 7th lord has gone and posited. Alright. So do remedies for the 5th lord planet, the 7th lord planet, and the nakshatra in which your 7th lord is placed in your horoscope. Alright. And people who are not married, and if you believe in astro, go through these pointers and then get married. So go through these key pointers this nakshatra energy exchange, and then get married. Alright, so I hope this video enlightened you. I wish somebody would have told me all these things like before during my school or during my relationship age, then I would have navigated through in the proper manner. Alright, so adios, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, take care.